Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sticks and Glue episode 6. Too many sticks for one hand. Glad you're here. Wanted to say thank you to the people who this past week have reached out and told me that they're enjoying the show and what they've enjoyed about it. It means a lot. It's hard to put yourself out there and do something like this. I'm incredibly self-conscious about it. Increasingly so as I hear from people, actually, because I'm like, oh, this is real, and while there aren't a ton of people watching it, people are watching it, and that freaks me out a little bit. So I put this pressure on myself, like I need this to be good, or I need it to be worthwhile so people will keep watching it. And that brings me to sort of the thing that I want to talk to you a little bit about today, which is learning to fail. Before we get into that, though, update on the build. I built another one of these things, which are the underneath supports for the drawbridge portion. I just need to make one more of them, and then 7 more of this straight piece, which will go on the side of this, both sides of this. Each one will be flanked on both sides and then attached to the bottom of the drawbridge. And if you guys are really nice, I might let you see me glue those together. It really looks like me putting glue on things and then holding it still for about 3 minutes until it sets. Also, I am wearing a J. Robbie Walston Christmas t-shirt in April, so that's where I'm at. Okay, so learning to fail. The card that I actually drew today was about doing stand-up, which is something that I used to do relatively frequently, but that I don't really do anymore. Doing stand-up for me was something that I really enjoyed doing because it was a good creative outlet. It let me feel like appreciated for something that I like about myself, which is, sort of playing with words and being clever. The thing that's really hard about doing stand-up is that you go into it with the expectation that 95% of the things you say are not going to work, and that you will probably never say those things on stage again. And that is part of the process, even for people who are very good at stand-up. And people who get into it because they want attention, or because they need some sort of feedback or affirmation. And there are very few like quicker ways to get that instant feedback. And when it goes well, you feel like $1 million. And when it doesn't go well, you feel like you should climb to the roof of the building and throw yourself off. And even when it feels good, the feeling doesn't seem to last for very long. But it is one of those things that is only really worth doing if you can do it very, very consistently, because the process is I believe in this bit, I'm going to try it. It didn't really work. I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to flip these 2 words, or I'm going to say it a little faster. I'm going to say it a little slower. I'm going to move this to here. I'm going to move this to there. And if you can't do it 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, then really what you're signing up for is to go up and fail and feel bad about yourself with no opportunity to grow and build on it. And that is not something that I want to sign up for. I will sign up for failure that leads to growth. It's not my favorite thing, but it is kind of the best way to grow. I will not sign up for self-flagellation that goes nowhere. So learning to fail is part of the process. If you were a gifted kid in school, you might be able to relate to the fear of failure thing. I think it's natural for us to gravitate to the things that we are naturally good at and you can really get stuck. You can really get stuck in that space and never challenge yourself, because if your entire identity is wrapped up in you being, oh, a smart, precocious kid, right? Then you're going to lean into the things that give you that positive feedback, because your entire identity is that. Um, that is 100% who I am slash was. Um, I feel that if I'm not getting kind of pretty consistent positive feedback, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Um, and I hate how much I crave that positive affirmation, um, because I want it, but I don't realize how much I want it. And then when I get it, I feel gross because I feel how much I wanted it. That's hard. So learning to fail in that sense is good. Just remembering that failure is part of that process. Also, you know, it's good to know that I don't have to be good at everything to enjoy it. I'm not good at building this bridge model, um, but I'm enjoying it, and it's a process. I wasn't particularly good at stand up, but I enjoyed it, and it's a process. Um, and I like that I am able to make myself do things and laugh at myself, maybe in a way that I wasn't capable of doing before. Some of that's probably recovery related. Some of that is probably just age. I'm in my 40s. I don't care quite as much. I don't hold stuff quite as tightly. And that's a really liberating place to be. You can't really will your way into it, though. Um, there are, man, like, I let myself sometimes let like knowledge substitute for actually knowing things. Um, Let me unpack that. There's a difference between knowing something and like learning something. Um, it's the difference between reading a book about doing something and actually doing that thing. This was particularly important to me in recovery because um, my journey involved going to meetings and still does. Um, and the first time I tried it, I went and I was like, oh, all of this makes sense. This sounds familiar. I get it. Oh, I get it. This is my problem. I totally understand, and I can fix this. But I didn't do any of the work, and I didn't find anybody to help me and show the way through, somebody who'd been there before. And I tried to do it on my own, and it turns out that it doesn't matter what I understand. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I say. It only matters what I actually do. Um, and also, like, there's no perfect way to do it. It is about the effort. So, um, yeah, that sucks because I'm smart and I'm lazy and I don't like doing stuff. Um, I was talking to somebody yesterday about my current work situation because I've been working where I'm working for coming up on 5 years. And honestly, this path could represent, on paper, looks like kind of a step back on my career path. And it started out as kind of a safe landing space for me to figure out what I wanted to do and see if it was a good fit. And I've still been waiting to achieve the kind of success, financially and just in the job that I had previously. But the part that's really interesting is that it's the first time in my life where I feel like I have not gotten to where I got to based on personality, being good at being interviewed, being good with words, being good at talking, being a smart guy. Like, I feel like For the first time, I am achieving and being recognized for the actual work that I do, consistency and showing up every day. And, you know, I feel like I've spent a lot of my life being a B minus student just by showing up and phoning it in because I have some natural ability and that allows me to skate by. But that doesn't feel good. It was crushing me because I felt worthless and inactive and flabby and like I wasn't contributing anything. And um, it feels good to try hard and accomplish things, not because like I deserve it or because I'm talented, but because I actually am doing the work. Um, and that does involve a lot of failure and it does involve a lot of humbling. And you can't decide to be humble. It is something. It is something you learn through having your behind handed to you enough times. Um, and it makes you better and more patient with other people. I am not talking about this bridge model at all, am I? It is what it is. I guess the sticks and glue were the friends we made along the way. Um, if you get something from this, that's great. If any of it makes sense to you, that's great. If you just like this because you enjoy the soothing sound of my voice, that's great. Um, I don't know. If you're hanging out just to make sure I'm not falling apart in the corner crying, I appreciate it. If you just really enjoy Cool Hand Luke and the right stuff, um, also good. You know, if I had known I was gonna do this before I decorated my room, I would have put different posters there probably. Not that I don't love those movies, but I have a Vertigo and Rear Window poster on the other wall, and whatever. What else is going on? I've actually gotten into the habit lately of doing something which I have not done in the past, which is trying to plan stuff to do on my days off. I tend to wing it and then not go out and do stuff. So I'm making myself do things like go to concerts, I'm going to a storytelling show, I'm going to see Pedro the Lion, going to see Drive-By Truckers, trying to have something that I'm looking forward to every week, every other week. Because that's nice. It feels good to be like, oh, so-and-so's coming to visit me. I've got that show then. It's cool. I used to do that when I was having a really hard time so that I had something to look forward to. And if you are in a place where you are feeling really down and you don't really see anything on the horizon, you feel stuck or you feel like trapped in some kind of darkness, it might be a good idea to take a look at what's coming up, whether it's a TV show that you like that's coming back, or a movie that you want to see that you're looking forward to that's coming out, or like a little show that you can go see. Have something on your calendar to look forward to. It helped me through some really rough patches in the past. What else? I finished reading Dave Eggers' Hologram for the King, which was pretty good. I am now reading Charles Dickens' Hard Times. I tend to go back and forth between sort of homework enrichment reading and stuff that is a little bit more fun and a little bit more modern for me. If you're interested in seeing what I've been reading, what I've read this year, I do have a Goodreads account. It's just under my name, first and last name. That's about it. Sorry for the delay between episodes. Hopefully the next one, which will be in a couple of days, I'll actually assemble some stuff for you so that you can see these bridge flaps together, and I could start working on the axles for it, and we can move on to something else. Anyway, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for giving me something to do. Take it easy. We'll see you next time.